Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Winter Solstice 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into the safe and loving space. Let's see what the cards have to say. How will Taurus be affected by the Winter Solstice 2021? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the Sun, which is absolutely brilliant, Taurus. And we have the High Priestess. We have the Strength, which is Leo energy. So if we have Leo within our natal chart, this is coming through very powerfully in our inner selves. And we have the Eight of Cups. It's taking strength to walk away from something during this time. We have the Page of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So if we have water sign energy within our natal chart, it's at home, right at our heart. So that's really nice. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Wands. And we have the Page of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So if we have that within our natal chart, it's going to be very at home in the public arena, on this earthly plane, dealing with and seeing. We're students during this time, which is very apropos for everything that's going on. What we're going to be seeing here is change with the winter solstice. And change isn't always the easiest thing for us. If we have Taurus anywhere in our chart, we can find that we might be a little bit, it's a little bit hard for us to embrace change. And what we're really seeing here is opening up the door to what we really want in life, and really studying that, really looking at that, and not making hasty decisions, but really making lasting, powerful decisions that impact the rest of our lives, but really impact 2022, the time of new beginnings, the angel number of new beginnings. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Ooh. Justice. This is Libra energy. So this is a sense of justice, right? What we have to be mindful of is we have to be mindful of trying to be just to everybody, trying to be nice to everybody, trying to always do the right thing. Now, this isn't saying just fall into anarchy. No, what this is saying is that we will be pulled in many different directions. Well, why weren't you thinking about me? And why weren't you thinking about me? And, I thought you would want the best for me, but I thought you would want the best for me, type of attitude from people, which is really quite selfish. It's really quite selfish. But we're going to be seeing here that we're pulled in different directions, and we're going to want to be fair to everybody, but we cannot forget to be fair to ourselves. All right, that's going to be really, really important. It's going to be that sense of like a kid saying, well, I thought you'd love me, or I thought you'd want the best for me, type of thing. And you look at them and you think, oh, I could just wring your neck right now for being so aggravating, to just, theoretically speaking, of course. So here, there's just this sense of, oh, it's so intense. And that's going to be the energy that we're dealing with. And we're actually dealing with people who are just so in their own world, so in their own, sense of self and observation of self that it's going to be difficult. So just be mindful of that during this time. And we could also have people kind of writing us, this is what you said you would do, or this is what I expect you to do. Why aren't you doing it faster? And there's going to feel like, oh my gosh, how can I win? So just be aware of this. And then we have the chakra energy, angels, and spirit guides. Show me clearly. This is creativity. This is the sacral chakra. And what we're really doing here is embracing our creativity, embracing what we desire from our lives and from ourselves. The sacral chakra is a beautiful chakra, but it's also a tricky chakra because it's where all our creative energy is held. It's where all our sensual energy is held, but it's also where all the drama from this life and past lives are held. And what we're doing is we're stepping into our creativity, our expressive self, our desire for what we want from life. And we're going to see ourselves really starting to create it for this winter solstice, for this time. So let's talk about this winter solstice, astrologically speaking, and, just the whole power of the winter solstice. So the winter solstice is the longest night of the year. So here we celebrate the rebirth of life. It is time of letting go of anything that doesn't align with us and our higher purpose. And we're really having that be our root for this time because we have the high priestess here and the sun. At our root, it's like, if this doesn't aid me, it's hindering me. If this doesn't help me forward, then it's keeping me held back and I'm not doing this anymore. We're given this time to really look at our fears and what has been holding us back and what we need to change. And again, change isn't always the easiest for fixed signs. We are a fixed sign in astrology. So what we have to see here is we have to be calm with ourselves. We have to be gentle with ourselves. We have to be understanding of what we want and how we're moving forward. And then start to look at the place that we want to be, the place that we desire, and bring our dreams into reality. We need to keep our feet firmly planted on the ground because we're earth sign energies and that's where we feel the most comfortable. But we also need to look at, how do I embrace and embody what I desire from my life? Because we're caught between the energy of Saturn and Uranus during this time. So it's very interesting. On the 20th of December, we had Mercury semi-sextile Saturn, and we had Mercury trine Uranus. So this is on the 20th. And then on the 24th, of December, we have Saturn squared Uranus. So Mercury brings the energy of Saturn and Uranus to the forefront of our minds, of our talking selves, of our, it's the messages that are coming forward. So we're very aware of this energy, which is the energy of Saturn, which is authority, and Uranus, which is freedom. And so this is a time where we have conflict between authority and freedom and how we want to move forward in what we desire and where it is that we want to be. Now, this is amplified by the fact that the sun is moving from Sagittarius into Capricorn on this day. So on the 21st of December, we go into Capricorn energy. Now, this shift from the outspoken, optimistic, extroverted, extravagant Sagittarius to the hardworking, responsible, ambitious Capricorn, it can be a bit trying for us because we have this sense of, but I still have everything that I want to do, everything that I dream of, everything that I desire, and now I'm supposed to be practical. And this is amplified by the fact that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So we really have the sense of, I need to be practical, I need to be down to earth. Our earth sign energy is coming in and it's saying, okay, what needs to be done and how could I look at it, this way? But we're also ruled by Venus. We're ruled by the heart. And Taurus, if we ignore our heart, if we ignore our dreams, if we ignore what we love and what we desire, then it's almost as if we fall to pieces. We could do so only in a way that we know. We could do so only in a way that we feel, but we definitely feel it. And what we're realizing is that we need to balance, responsibilities and dreams. We need to balance, reality and the freedom that we want to embrace, so that we can move forward in the happiness that 2022 is the angel number of 222, right? Is the angel number of new beginnings. And that's what we're doing. We're entering into a time of new beginnings, and the winter solstice is preparing us for this. So we have the sun at our root. We have joy and happiness and success. The sun is the happiest card in the whole entire tarot, which is extraordinary. There's brilliance here, there's radiance here, there's joy here. There's a real sense of, this is what I desire, this is where I want to be, this is what's important to me. And we have to let that sun shine. Even if that means that we have to kind of pull back from certain things or certain people, even if that means we start looking at different jobs or seeing that maybe some relationships have run their course, we're going to look at this and say, okay, this is what I need. Also, we can look at our surroundings and say, is this radiating happiness for me? Is this beautiful? Like, is this bringing me, it could be, very much doing that, tidy up book where does this bring me joy? And as we look at it that way, does this bring me joy? Does my world bring me joy? We're asking ourselves, and we're pulling off the mask of so much of what we had thought would be our joy or our power or our success. And we're seeing what truly is our joy, our beauty, what we desire within our lives. The high priestess looks at things so openly and so honestly for us. The high priestess is like the Oracle of Delphi, right? We could argue, and it has been argued, that the Oracle of Delphi was high on these fumes and she would just babble, and that's what you got. But people came to her. Alexander the Great came to her. People came from all over the ancient world to hear what she had to say, to hear her word. And that's something that's astounding. So here, when we have the veil lifted from our eyes, when we're seeing behind the masks of people, we're seeing behind what people want us to see, to who they truly are, to where we truly want to be, to what we desperately need and want and are developing within our lives, that becomes the game changer. And as that, changes the situation, it starts to change us, because we're not going to be buying it anymore. The proverbial it that everybody is selling, the lies, the, pity me, the I'm better than you sort of mentality. It's like, no, I'm not there. Like, I'm no longer believing this. And this winter solstice is this time where we actually seem to step into ourselves more and more. And I don't know about you, but I love winter. I love the cold. I love the coziness. I love the intensity of winter. Of course, in the northern hemisphere, it's completely opposite in the southern. But here, there's just going to be this sense of, the crispness of the air, the power of it, the power of the cold. And there's going to be something of, like, it's grounding me more. It's having me step into more of myself. It's like that seed that's taking in all the nutrients so that it will be strong and powerful and intense and beautiful. And that's what we're seeing here. And that's part of our strength in our inner selves during this time. The strength of, I'm growing for me. The strength of, I'm loving me and connecting with me and looking at my heart. And this isn't the strength of, bodybuilding or long distance running or anything like that. It is the strength of our heart and what we can emotionally take on, and the responsibilities that come our way, and the way that we stand tall within ourselves. And we're walking away from a lot of lies, from a lot of things that were told to us that were true. Now, this could be in relationships that went sour, people who once we were in love with, and then they kind of tried to destroy us, because when you have an underdeveloped person or a low energy vibrational person move from love, they usually move to hate. And so that means that they attack. And this can be a time that we're looking at the ways that we were attacked, the ways that we were hurt and scarred and made to feel less than. And this could be in a romantic relationship. This could be in a work relationship. This could be in a friendship, and there's just a sense of, I'm walking away from all of this, and I'm guided by the darkness. I'm guided by the silence. The world is so, we as human beings, right? We're sight hunters. So we fill the world with light. We fill the world with noise. We fill the world with constant activity. And what we have here on the longest night of the year is we have quiet. And we're needing to be filled with that quiet. And it brings us to being students of our hearts. We're finding messages in the oddest of places. And it becomes such a powerful transformation for us to learn, to see. We're wrapped in our heart chakra. We're wrapped in our heart. We're standing in our emotional self. And as we do so, the world is chaotic around us. As we do so, emotions rage against us. But we stand in our power. We see ourselves in a way that we haven't seen ourselves before, in a way that is slightly extraordinary. And as we do this, we're finding balance. This is my minor arcana justice card, right? We're finding our balance. We're finding what we desire. We're finding where there isn't that harmony. And where there isn't that harmony, either we're being aware of it, because sometimes we can't change it. It's work, it's what is. We can't change certain people at all. But we're also learning how to call out the imbalances and be aware of them. It's one thing to have to deal with, imbalances or chaos or whatever. But when we have to deal with it and we're not aware of it, that's when it really scars us. That's when it becomes too much. But if we say, okay, I know this person's strengths and this person's weakness, or I know what to expect when I step into this situation, that becomes better, because we're also knowing ourselves, and we're knowing ourselves more and more. And it brings us to the Seven of Wands. There's going to be this sense, Taurus, that we've been reactionary. We're going to move from I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight, and I always have to be on guard, to I'm standing my ground. I'm knowing what I desire. I'm knowing what I want. I'm knowing what I need. But I will not, in any way, shape, or form, be taken advantage of. And I will not be wasting my energy on people who do not deserve it, who are just here to bicker and fight and to make things harder because they can, because they kind of get a kick out of it, or because this is the only form of communication they know, the only form of connection they know. We're not sinking down to baser levels. We're rising up during this time, and we're rising up very powerfully, and it brings us to being a student of our passion, being a student of what we desire from our lives and for ourselves, and where it is that we want to be, and what it is that brings joy into our lives. We can sit there and say joy isn't important. Paying the bills, getting things done is important, and yes, that's true. But to have life be forever a drudgery, that is unfair to us. And so here we're becoming a student of the way to step forward in our passion, the way to embrace our hearts and what we desire and where it is that we want to be and what's important to us and what's, powerful for us and what's changing the game. And as we do this, we see ourselves more and more. As we do this, we realize where we're going, what we want to be, and we're not afraid to ask questions. We're also not afraid to take different paths or try new things or, say, why the heck not? We're going to find our inspiration really steps in. And as our inspiration steps in, we step into ourselves. We're going to be looking at certain things. What brings me joy? Okay, what is it that I watch on television or YouTube or, any form of media that brings me joy? Can I replicate that in my life? Can I bring that into my existence? How? Why? How do I move forward? Where is it that I'm going? What is it that I want? And all of a sudden, we can start seeing new paths open that we never thought would be for us, but have been calling to us in subtle little ways. And that's why we're going to be finding inspiration from the most unlikely of places. And it moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And this is the moon. Now, this is Pisces energy, but this is also being mindful of the subconscious and the conscious not being in alignment, meaning that we're not feeling fulfilled in our waking world because our heart wants something different. Okay, or our soul or ourselves, however we see the subconscious, wherever we believe that resides. There's also going to be a sense of really, falling into fear-mongering, right? People playing off of our fears and us falling into it, like being like, oh my gosh, that scares me, so I'm going to be more scared by it. And what Spirit is saying here is like, no, stand in what you desire. Look at your fears, because what the winter solstice has us do is face the fear of the night. Again, remember, we as human beings are sight hunters. We like the light. We like things to be illuminated because that's our strongest sense, for those, of course, who can see. So here, what we have is we have the quiet coming in. We have the dark coming in. We have the night coming in. And that's going to be where the power is during this time. It's going to be by the waning light of the full moon. It's going to be by the insight and desires of who we are and where we're headed and what we want for ourselves and from our lives and how we're moving forward. And we can't let fear overshadow our dreams, ourselves, and what we desire. The moon is going to be very important on this winter solstice. So if we, put some water out to be charged by the moon, if we like that ritual, or just sitting under the moon or going for a walk at night and just being able to connect. That's going to be so important for us. Just that connection with the world around us. Taurus, it makes us feel like a different person when we connect with the earth. Our subconscious chakra energy is holistic health. Now, this is the root chakra. And this is absolutely one of my favorite cards. Holistic health is this healing that comes over us, that is a part of us. Holistic health is a peace, is a harmony, that is the connection of us with our holistic self. Now, this is either our spiritual self, this can be, embracing holistic medicine, this can be saying, but this is what's right for me. This is what I desire for myself in my life. It doesn't matter if it has to be right for anybody else. I love barefoot shoes. I talk about this. I'm going to do a video, I am, one day, of barefoot shoes and show some of the ones that I have, because I found that they really helped my whole entire body alignment, especially my jaw for some strange reason. And here we're going to be looking at things that people might think, oh, well, that's crazy. Like, how could that help you? How is that grounding you or, aligning you better? But if it works for us, why not do it? Why not embrace it? So here it's going to be vitamins. It's going to be listening about the food that we eat, listening to how our body reacts to the food that we eat, listening to the power of ourselves, the passion of ourselves, what our body needs and how we're moving forward in that energy. Instead of ignoring ourselves and saying, oh no, I'm just going to push through until I have to stop. It's like, no, I'm taking time to connect with me. It moves us to our subconscious rooted energy. And this is judgment. These are our angels calling us to a higher power. This is a sense of rising out of the box that we've been in. This is, being called towards something more. And this winter solstice really is calling us towards a deeper connection. And the question is, are we going to let that radiance shine through? Are we going to let ourselves be that beacon of light and answer that call? Or are we going to say, oh no, I have to stay in this box. I have to stay in this darkness. I have to stay in this misery and not embrace. It's so funny because the darkness, we can see it as a bad thing, but the darkness is actually going to be, you can't see the path. You can't see the path. You have to trust it. You have to trust to walk this way. And it moves us to our subconscious inner self. And that's the Two of Swords. That's a path opening up, or paths opening up, that we always thought, it was either left or right. You couldn't go any other way. And what Spirit is saying here is that, oh yes, you can. Oh yes, you can, and you should. Quiet. Embrace the quiet on this day and see how it changes your world. Seriously, Taurus. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, and that is the Knight of Cups. We go from being the page, the student, the learner, to the knight, to the passionate, defender of our hearts, of our dreams, of what we desire. We're rising out of emotional chaos, and we're moving ourselves to the place that is right for our hearts, that is right for ourselves, that is right for the energy that we need to embrace within our lives. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self, and that's justice. Subconsciously, in the public arena, even though we have to be mindful of justice energy, we have justice right here, and we need to be mindful of our justice. We need to be discerning to ourselves of the energy we let in, of the energy we say no to, of the way that we move forward, and the passion that is around us. This is about saying, I matter, and meaning it full-heartedly. All right, Taurus, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we embrace the power and the intensity of this winter solstice. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus, and may you have a blessed winter solstice.